Hey, you Philly fans out there. Have you been watching the Sixers? Oh, no. Villanova? I'm a Villanova fan. Villanova's not doing much better. But if you're watching on YouTube, and here's another reason why you should subscribe to our YouTube channel, look at Aaron's hat. Aaron, what does your hat say?
I'm a New York Knicks fan. You see that?
Knicks. The Knicks.
It's been a long time.
You know what's awesome? I'll root for the Knicks. Yeah. Maybe that's a team I need to switch to because they're all Villanova players.
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Now, here's a little tie-in to this. This is what, you know what this is called? I'm holding up a plant. It's a fantastic.
We just talked about that. That's Gaultheria.
Gaultheria, right?
It's like evergreen, wintergreen.
All right. Wintergreen. And you know what its other name is?
What's that?
Knick-knick.
Knick-knick.
So it's a knick-knick. Knick-knick, it's a nick plant.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Anyway.
Okay, I see the connection there.
It is a great ground cover, stays really low. Bear berries, because the bears eat the berries that are on it. Gets a little white flower in the springtime. Beautiful plant, excellent ground cover. Get it while you can, because a lot of times you can only get it in the fall. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but boy, you'll love it. In dense shade, perfect.
Yep. On our YouTube page, guys, we did a whole spotlight on Gaultheria, guys. Check it out.
Yep. And the
Knick-knick.
I guess there's no 76er, 76er. Boy, were they getting on Joel Embiid. Oh, this is a show. We're talking about Firewood. I'm sorry. We'll get back to, I
don't want to step on the fans'
Was that
toes.
a tangent? That was a tangent just there. All right. It's firewood season.
It is.
For the person that's out there that put on our Facebook page a review of how they hated us because they couldn't light a fire. This is, you know what? I take it personal. This is 6 years ago. You got to go to the bottom when our Facebook page first started. The reason you can't light a good fire sometimes is because you've got oak wood. And you have to start a fire the right way. And you want to buy oak wood because it will burn longer. And if they said it's mixed hardwood, that's fine. You've got mixed hardwood because that's what you're after. If you had pine, you'd be putting a piece of wood in every 10 minutes. And also it's going to create creosote, and it's not going to be that great it's great to start, but it's not what you're looking for in firewood.
We use it to start other fires.
Yeah.
We use it to start the oak, as a matter of fact.
And that's what you need.
Right.
A lot of paper balls. Nothing's more.
No.
I have a wood burning stove. Do you have a fireplace?
Outside, I do.
You have a fireplace outside, but inside you don't have.
No, I guess when they put the new addition, they close it in.
Yeah.
The original owners. I see everything is in the basement, but the chute and everything has been closed up. So
okay.
Yeah, they knocked down a brick. Everything that was down there. So
well, I have a wood burning stove, and I actually do have a fireplace as well.
Yeah.
That you want to make sure it's all about making sure that air is anybody who's any boneheads out there that are lighting fires when it's really warm out in their house, they have found out that it gets smoky in the house because you can't create a draft.
Right.
And what does that mean? It means that the air from the inside of the house is pulling through the fire and going up the chimney. So it's got to be cold out to create that draft, and then you'll get a good fire. So, if it's 60 degrees outside, you really don't need a fire. Maybe that's why people have gas fireplaces.
Maybe.
Yeah. But if you're buying firewood, you're going to get good seasoned. And again, it could be mixed hardwood. It could be oak. A lot of people say, oh, I've got cherry. It's well, okay. It's all right. Cherry's fine. But you want to get a fire started, you can start with paper balls. But there's paper balls. But anybody have any newspapers anymore?
I don't find that paper catches.
Well, you got to put enough of them, and they got to be tight so that when they open up, as they burn, they can... But nothing's more defeating than when you run out of paper balls and they are all out and your log's sitting there.
My dad I remember as a kid, my dad used to wrap his logs with newspaper.
Really?
Yeah, and put it right in the fireplace.
I don't think of that.
I didn't. It took him forever to light the stove. To light the fireplace.
Well, he didn't have Fatwood.
Probably not.
Fatwood. I love Fatwood. Fatwood is my favorite.
Instant starter.
And it is.
Yeah.
It is. So what is Fatwood? It is born from the stumps that are left over after logging and of pine trees, where what happens, that sap goes down into the pieces of the wood, and that it basically crystallizes in that, and it looks like a piece of wood, but you could light it with one match. And I use that now instead of although I do get the Lancaster Farming News.
Right.
Lancaster Farmer News is about like the Sunday Times, you know.
It may beat the Sunday Times now.
Yeah, it might. It might.
And I think now that, or maybe I'm speaking out of place, but I think the Times is stopping their paper delivery. That and Star Ledger, so we definitely
The Star Ledger,
I think,
too?
yeah, the Star Ledger too.
Well, there used to be the Herald. That was the Herald News.
Yeah, yeah.
That was up north, and then it was the Gloucester County Times.
Gotcha.
And the Courier Post. I think Courier Post is still around.
I think so.
Anyway, we digress. Getting Fatwood, using Fatwood to start your logs is the easiest thing that you can do. It works really well. You might be taken back. I don't particularly like the Duraflame type log things.
With the paper on it?
Yeah. You light the paper. You know, read up on it. I'm not going to make make a decision about that one way or the other.
If I'm doing a quick meal outside on my wood stove, I use that.
Well, you're outside, but I'm talking about inside.
In the house, yeah, that's different.
It has that kerosene smell.
Sure.
You know, but it also, if you have good draft, then it works. But again, using Fatwood, look for Fatwood at your local garden center, hardware store. Again, we really like it. It works very well, and it lasts for a long time. It's a whole lot better than trying to make paper balls and then not working. If you're doing it, if you're doing paper balls, you want to make sure that you have some kindling wood in there as well. So it's kind of like the lasagna method, where you put the paper balls, then you put the kindling wood, and then you put the actual firewood. Then you can maybe get it burned and get it going. But if you've got wet wood,
you're not getting that fire started.
Yeah, make sure that when you're purchasing your wood that you ask if it's seasoned. That's essential. That's essential. Let's see. You need to check. When was the last time? Well, you don't have.
Well, in North
did you
Jersey.
have in North Jersey?
Yeah,
did you have a fireplace?
Mm-hmm.
Did you close it up?
Yeah,
you did.
Good. I told them not to use it.
Yeah,
renter that's in it. Yeah.
Did you while you were living there? Did you ever have it checked?
Yeah, and I couldn't afford to get it. Hey, that was the end of that story.
Well, the guy was like, he wanted to replace. You can have people come out, and that you can look them up on Google, and it'll be near me. Look for chimney sweeps, chimney inspections. It's a good idea every other year, maybe even every year, that you have your chimney inspected. I had a friend of mine who built a brand new house, and I can just picture him all happy, lighting the fire for the first time, and got his family around. There was a gap in the chimney where it connected to the flue. Oh, set his entire house on fire, and it burnt to the ground. Brand new house. Okay. So getting it inspected is a great idea. With all of I can remember where at one time it was you took a burlap bag filled with sand and you ran it up and down but again, I'm a farmer, so those days are over. Now they have cameras and they can see things that you can't, and that it also gives you a good idea. Like my house is now getting on the older side where it just concerns me. Like, how do I know that there's not a gap?
Right.
In
our first home, we had an issue with the hood being rusted out and being in a really bad spot to be able to get up and access it. And so he wanted to charge us an arm and a leg for the whole new system. And it's not worth it for me because we don't I mean, you know, we don't use it that often.
Yep. My wood burning stove I do use. It's great. It shuts off the heat to the rest of the house. It's cold in here. Put on a sweater.
Sure.
But I'm saying that to myself because I don't have, my kids are all grown now.
Wow.
Anyway.
Our kids know.
Your kids know. Yeah, well, see, there you go. I'm glad things are moving on. But getting your chimney clean also gets rid of that creosote that can build up, even if you have a flue that's a brick flue. Sure. If you've got questions about firewood, you know what to do. You call a hotline. If you have questions about houseplants, if you have questions about anything, between me, Julio, and Aaron, we can answer that question. You know the number. You dial 609-685-1880. You leave a message, you leave us our question, we call you back in person, and we give you the answer. And if we use it on the air, you get a free T-shirt.